But Psionic, I have a confession to make. What is the confession, you ask? I was on vacation, so I didn't do the lotto. I was out of town on vacation. There was no time to do the lotto. I was filling my gullet with fish instead. And that happens to everyone, right? Right? Happens to everyone. What's going on, gang? You're here. We have support review as usual. Start chucking your codes in there. Eric is already in the Google Doc doing things with the stuff and the events. And yes, rip lotto. Rip lotto. You can absolutely go. Post stuff. Go. It's fine. Go. Yeah, no lotto. Wasn't able to do any lotto. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to do every single event. That's in the bad news. But in the good news, I have E2 Acheron in Honkai Star Rail. And I hit for like 300,000 damage every single time now. So that's fun. That's really fun. We gotta give Eric a moment to go ahead and get everything together, by the way. Actually, let's just take something. I'm waiting 2 years for this banner, so I hope I get picked. Eric, we're just gonna take care of Day Staranoct like immediately. We're just gonna take care of that since we have an actual like Trung Sisters enjoyer, and then we'll start the roll-ins. We'll start the roll-ins from there. So let's start with Day Staranoct, and then we'll go from there, since Day Staranoct is a repeat viewer. I have spoken! Loving the Caster Coup representation. He's just fun to use. He's a cool guy, and I enjoy him. I enjoy him deeply. He's great. But let's get started. Y'all are here to see stuff, right? Y'all are here to see stuff. Let me know if things are loud. Let me know if things are quiet. I can adjust as necessary. And let's get Day Staranoct in here. Oh no, where's the code? There it is. Okay, I see it. 140. 296235 Perfectamundo. Alright, 140-296-235. Alright, Eric's got the plan starting to go. He's starting the random number generator. He's got everyone that's on cooldown. So we're looking nice and fine and dandy. Thank you, as always, Eric. And Eric, please let me know. Like, you're here a lot. Like, do you want me to like pay you or anything like that? I can totally do that. That's not even me just trying to like laugh and all that. You're immensely helpful. I am 100% about that. 100% about that. I think I scare artists off when they ask me like, hey, can I do stuff for your channel? I'll do it for free. And I'm like, no, I want to let me pay you. And then they like run away. Like, Eric, if you desire compensation, we can talk. We can figure it out. Let's take a look here. See what we got. Holy sh! Okay. So we're going to open with this. And we're going to let you gaze at that really quick while I go over the stipulations. Post your code once. It will go ahead and, be filtered in, and we'll chuck that together and do the random number generator and all that. Super chats, as always, take priority. You got to give some sort of incentive for that, but we do absolutely do a priority of super chats, then we alternate between repeat viewers that we've seen on the stream, and then we've got just everyone that exists in general. So we do try to random number generator. We've got 2 different pools, so keep that in mind. We try our best to do that. Super chat stuff gets cut off at 8:30, and that's 8:30 Eastern. So once we hit that point, I'll post a pinned yada yada yada. We'll go from there. Chuck your code in once. Eric's got a gigantic Google Doc of death, and we will gigantic Google Doc of death everything together and be good that way. Okay, cool. Also, we don't look at supports, because all supports look the same. we look at other stuff. So if you're not going to see Koinskayas, you're not going to see Castorias, you're not going to see Merlins, Scotties, any of that, because they're all the same. They're all the same thing. Let's not worry about that. Yeah, let's talk about the great use of the lotto, because look at you, chat. Look at you, chat. Look at you go. I'm gonna throw some hearts in there too. Actually, I'm gonna throw some confettis. Oh, I can't perform that with Streamlabs desktop? What do you mean? I have to go all the way over here to give my confettis. Oh god, double speak, gather. Confettis! Brilliant. Yes, you were absolutely prepared. Let's see, level 120. Ocean Flyer, just great pick for Haibashu, which I think I still have correct. I think that's still correct. 2,000 attack, 8% arts card effectiveness, 15% in P strength, 50% in P charge. This is an excellent craft essence for them. Or of course already 10-10-10. You've been planning since they were revealed. Oh my gosh. Yep, low magical energy is maxed out. NP 5. NP5. Look at that. Wizard of Menlo Park, great pick. Royal Bunny, great pick. Maiden of Orleans for a little bit of additional healing. Wow. And then we've got Bride of the White Rose for additional healing, and Tamamo to up that additional healing. So they will not only refuse to die, but they will also, deal a solid bit of damage. Holy crap. I gotta say, excellent sprite work on them. DW kinda killed it with this design. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And your work on this is really, really good. They get 20k HP. I guess that makes sense, like 10,000 apiece. Wow. Other people did level 120s. Chloe and Melusine during Summer 8 on Gold Eye Blue's account got to 120. Dang. Crazy stuff. I figured that was the reason you were like, listen, I've been waiting for for Haibashu. I got to go ahead and show them off. Brilliant. Brilliant work. Can't be more pleased. Let's look at the rest of the list. Sherlock, maxed out. With prized piece. Always a really weird craft essence for him. I kind of feel like it'd be better if he was arts in general. But that's just like, it's a great craft essence equipped to him for a Bond CE. I always felt weird that that's not, an arts one. Why do they need seashells in an event that doesn't offer seashells? They need seashells because, I don't know, poor planning. We'll just say poor planning. 10-10-10 on this Sherlock. Yeah, anti-berserker representation. NP2, that's a solid defense reduction. And ooh, look, as many stars as you can possibly get with a crit boost for the entire party. This right here, this is a very ideal crit support servant build on these command codes. And I think, it's really something to consider right here. Like, the Buster is just a blanket crit boost to everyone. That one arts is a blanket crit boost to anyone. So we get crit boosts as well as stars given to our entire team. It's great. I would love to see us on Osakawa Hime. I would love to see us on a bunch of other people. So great example of a well-built Sherlock Holmes, gotta say. Really hope Bonsees get a huge buff to be usable since there are only a handful of useful ones. Yeah, Jin, in case you're unaware, Bond CEs only give 100 HP and 100 attack, which is a big, big detriment. That's why you'll usually see people go, oh, well, I'm using that mainly on my supports, because if you're using it on supports, stats matter a lot less. Stats matter a lot less for supports, and it's mainly on abilities. Strange decisions with those Bond CEs. Another Super Orion that I'm jelly of. Atrefus, yep, NP gain critical strength, 4 critical stars per turn, get that maximum buff uptime off that Noble Phantasm. Man is 10-10-10. Low magical energy 1. Noble Phantasm. Excellent. And just Saber Murder. Pure, unadulterated Saber Murder on every single Buster card. I love it. How many codes we got queued right now? We got quite a few in the pool right now, but remember, it's not like necessarily queued, it's a pool. So we have like 2 separate pools, and we roll a random number generator in order to figure out who's going to be the next person. So it's not like if you submit your code later or show up to the stream later, you've got like less of a chance of getting picked in this particular stream. The thing that gives people priority is if they are repeat viewers. Repeat viewers get their own separate pool and their own separate slots, and then everyone gets their own separate pool and own separate slot beyond that. It's how we attempt to reward people who show up to the stream repeatedly. So don't worry if you show up late and end up putting your thing in late. You've got as much of a chance in the all pool as anybody else. It's the fairest way we've come up with to do this. Ooh, Bryn. Alright, let's take a Gandino at Bryn. You love those anti-saber codes back on the Orion? Yeah, really good. Summer Anniversary? I got so many of these. Buster card effectiveness, Buster card crit strength, and a solid starting NP gauge. Man, that with a full maxed out Primordial Rune, let's see if the Append skill. The Append skill does have investment on top of that. That's gotta be a turn 1 Noble Phantasm, right? I feel like that's gotta be. Yeah, we did the NP boosts, all that. Man, Bryn's just one of those characters that, like, it wasn't that necessarily she fell off in her skills. Exactly, Daisu. We don't see Bryn too often. It isn't necessarily that she, in particular, like, ended up having anything happen to her to make her go down. It's just so many good Lancers got released after her that it hurt. It hurt really bad, especially considering, and to bring up a JP point, they buffed Kagatora Nagao on JP today. So that is a big deal. Kagatora got a buff to the arts ability, and it is strong. It is really, really strong. It's 3 turns now. It is disgustingly good. Kagatora already was insane, and now she's even more insane. And that's ended up tangentially hurting Bryn more. Should jog your memory tab if you look at my event list 6, the first servant. Hey! 110 Achilles. Normal 3, normal 2, normal 1. It's Achilles! Oh, the double Achilles! The double Achilles! Now I remember! 120 Achilles and 110 Achilles. Oh, man. Wow. That's right. Great. You'll love to see it. Speaking of the 120 Achilles. Yep, of course got the Bond. Of course got the 10-10-10. Got the Pokemon. This is like basically the most bust Achilles. Everyone's like, oh, it's Achilles guy. Yep, fully maxed out on all of those cards, which I think I just finished maxing out my Bargaster. I'm at like 480 on her final quick card. So I understand it's a rough journey. Yeah, the double Achilles, 1 at 110, 1 at 120. There's an NP5 Achilles and an NP2 Achilles. And this particular Achilles, yep, also 10-10-10, also 10-10-10 since the pens are shared. NP2 here, I assume these are shared too. Ridiculous. Only an NP7, sadly need 3 more copies. Patroclus plays FGO confirmed. Yeah, why is your name not Patroclus on this game? Wonderful. Speaking of wonderful, look at that. Grudge Match Mory, really good craft essence on him. Doesn't get talked about nearly enough when it comes to Mory's CEs. A Guts and a Critical Strength boost, so he can maybe possibly, benefit from his own, death state thing? Maybe. Maybe good. Maybe solid and good. NP5, 10-10-10, and let's see, is this full? Yep, full memes. Full Buster memes. critical strength, ignore invincible on the arts card. Fun fact, appends are shared, but append levels aren't, so it's still double the resources. That's just even more incredible, considering both Achilles have all their appends maxed out. I obviously don't do enough of the double servant thing to know that. Nice, Mory, and then, of course, Hokusai with Dragon Climbing Mount Fuji. Yeah, that is an extremely clever pick for the Mory. Absolutely. Hokusai's 10-10-10. Yep, full anti-berserker field. NP2. What we got going on here? NP strength boost. NP strength boost. Wedge of the Heavens. Star drop rate on that. And Mage of Flowers over here. Slight recommendation, I might recommend swapping this with this. Swap those over so you can get a better star benefit off of the quick card. And then since the 10% is flat, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter that it's on the quick card or the arts card. You're still getting the 10% flat regardless. So I'd say swap those two. You'll squeeze a little more stars out of Hokusai, and that may be the difference between a 90% crit chance and a 100% crit chance. Because if y'all have ever played XCOM, you know how XCOM numbers work. A 90% is actually a 0%. And then everyone is sad. Won't the NP strength be better on the arts cards? Not necessarily, because I imagine what they're planning to do with this build is, so what you do is you go, since the NP strength stacks, you would go Buster, Noble Phantasm in that way. So that way you can benefit from the NP strength boost and the Noble Phantasm following it. And if you have an AoE servant you like to bring to boss fights, well, you can use the Buster cards to deal the maximum amount of damage, because that's what the Buster cards are designed for, just deal a bunch of damage. Really charge up that Noble Phantasm, and then nuke the boss and their adds in one fell swoop. Maybe get a little bit of an extra attack as a treat, as an extra finisher. So there's definitely a benefit to setting it on the Buster cards for even art servants and things like that. Yeah, exactly. If you put it on the arts, according to Daysteranoct, whose account this is, you sacrifice the NP refund. So that's very, very important. If you're putting it on the arts cards and you're using those beforehand with the Noble Phantasm, you sacrifice the NP refund. However, if you end up putting it on the Buster cards, you can use whatever Buster card you draw for damage, follow it up with the Noble Phantasm. Without those on the arts cards, you don't need to worry about using the arts cards for a Noble Phantasm boost. You can just do, say for example, boom, Buster with the Da Vinci. That ends up granting us 15% Noble Phantasm strength. Follow it up with the Noble Phantasm. Do a bunch of good Noble Phantasm stuff. And then when it comes to hitting with your final card, hit with the arts card. Get the bonus effect from Wedge of the Heavens, for example, and then you are actually feeding into that Noble Phantasm refund because you just used that Noble Phantasm. So you benefit from the refund on the arts card, as well as the refund from the extra attack that's going to follow up. And then maybe next turn, if you're lucky, you can do it again. And when it comes to Hokusai, yeah, BNPA is the sweet spot with me. BNPA is something a lot more people should be aware of. And it's really something I need to be putting, that in my videos as well. Isn't at least one card recommended before her NP? Not necessarily. So the effect of decreasing the enemy's defense follows up for 3 turns. So if you're using the arts card to go ahead and follow up and get an NP refund, and then you're going to immediately Noble Phantasm after that, you end up stacking up and after that. But yeah, Little Dozen is actually recommended. We don't even have Mighty Brave Chains yet. Some would argue putting it on the quick for the Mighty Brave Chain. It's a lot of weird extra mathy things. When Arts Chain wouldn't at least give higher refund and damage. I mean, with an arts chain, yes, but we're speaking about all of these chains in the event of a perfect world, of a perfect pull. In a game like Fate Grand Order, where you are pulling cards at random, then you need to consider that you aren't necessarily going to have the perfect card set up every single time. There is definitely an argument to be made for putting the NP strength boosts on the Buster cards. because of the innate randomness of the game. Hokusai is actually more crit focused on paper than on paper. Yeah, I've definitely seen some Hokusais hit for a crazy amount because, I mean, look, again, Arts Card Critical Star Gather Rate on that skill 3, and that lasts for 3 turns. She gets more out of people like Lan Ling or Caster Gilgamesh than one would expect, especially Lan Ling, especially Prince of Lan Ling. Overall, a great Hokusai that has sparked a lot of good discussion in the chat. I definitely gotta give it that kudos. I'm glad you went first, Stace Aeronaut. I hope you get your last 3 Achilles. I'm glad that game is going strong. Thank you for sharing your Haibashu with the rest of us. Like, that's insane that you've already got them at 120 already. Absolutely nutty, and as always, nice to see a good bit of representation for Mory Nagayoshi. If you want to be friends, 140-296-235 will get you on that list. You'll be able to use that crazy Haibashu for the event, as well as whatever Achilles strikes your fancy, I guess. So we're going to keep that up while we wait to go ahead and roll for the next one. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with see, where is this? Where is this? All right, next up, Fez or Chitanda. I had to go back into the chat to figure that out because I was like, is Eric unsure whose code this belongs to? But no, the full name of the person is Fez or Chitanda. So, Fez or Chitanda, if you could announce yourself in the chat, I will need you to announce yourself in the chat to be able to show up because we tend to prioritize people who are here. 947-175-130. Yep, is Fez or Chitanda? Well, I'm glad I figured it out. Yo! Goldeye! Thank you so much! Thank you so much for the super chat. 424-401-621 super chatting to move my homie's friend code into the pool. Thank you. Thank you so much. We will get to that right after Fez or Chitanda, or right now if they don't respond in the chat. In the meantime, while we wait for them to respond, 2 minutes. I just finished this today. And in my love of mechanics, I'm going to share it with the chat. This is my new magic deck I just built. It is Mr. House, President, and CEO. He reads, whenever you roll a 4 or higher, create a 3/3 colorless robot artifact creature token. If you roll a 6 or higher, instead create that token and a treasure token. Pay a 4 and tap him to roll a 6-sided die, plus an additional 6-sided die for every treasure you tap to cast this. This is going to be really fun to play this weekend, because it doesn't specify that you need to roll a 6-sided die. So I have filled this deck with every possible roll a 20-sided die effect I can get in Magic the Gathering, and I am just going to be cheating out clowns, like clown robots, and making a bunch of money, and using that money to win the game. So, this is what I just finished building before the stream. I'm super excited about it. Just wanted to share that with the chat. Woo. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to move to Goldeye's friend. This is for Goldeye's friend, Sean. 424 401 621. Alright, this is for Sean, who just last logged in 0 minutes ago. I'm gonna leave that up to in the pool, obviously, and we're gonna go ahead and take a Gandino. And since you went and chucked that in, Goldeye, let me get the current time stamp for you. It looks like we're about 27 minutes in. So if you want to write that down for your buddy, if he needs to watch the stream later, 27 minutes in. Boom. All right, let's take a peek. Let's see what we got. Ishtar. Oh, there's Sean. List 2. It's your Buster list. All right, list 2 it is. The Buster list. All right, so we're going to kick this off with King Protea. Can't wait till she gets her costume. That thing looks really, really good. Let's see. Khaled Ruby. Ooh, Buster card effectiveness and NP strength. She is 10-10-10 on all of her skills. NP1. All right, kicking it off with a big King Protea. Moving over to the next one. Do we got help, police? Help, police! Police! So, Ibuki Doji, Sewing a Beloved Doll. I mentioned this last month. This CE is absolutely underrated. We've got, like, all stats and attack, NP strength plus 15%, Buster card critical strength up, and a starting NP charge to boot. This thing is super duper cool when it comes to use on Ibuki Doji. Sending it 10-10-10 with all of those abilities. Low magical energy is at 4. Good investment, good investment. Sending it NP1, and let's take a look at... Ooh! We got a boost. We got another boost. Just like, I don't care about those cards. I am here for big Unga Bunga. And yep, there's a critical strength boost. There's a critical strength boost. And there's a critical strength boost. Absolutely every single critical strength boost you can invest in. Truly fantastic. Truly fantastic. Yes, just entirely built into the Buster cards. You would go with that Ibuki. I share your wishes. You wish she had a small one for the Summer Ascension. Maybe a costume in the future. A fancy premium costume, maybe. Here's our boy. Here's our boy. Beloved by David Zhang of Honkai Star Rail fame. All Star Rail decisions are based off of this man. All Honkai Star Rail decisions in the story are based off of this man. Emiya is the ideal in more ways than one. Halloween Princess, increasing NP strength and starting battle with NP charged by 50%. An oldie but a goodie. The definition of oldie but a goodie. That Ushi code is so slept on. It's so versatile. It's such a versatile code. I try to spread the joy of that code everywhere I can. 888 with all of his skills. Unlimited Blade Works NP1. Yeah, that sure is a good start for an Emiya. Over here, we've got Romulus Quirinus. Bestia del Sol, Quick card, and Buster card, and Critical Strength. I'm pretty sure those are her primary card types. Equipping Emiya with his mom. That's great. 999 and all of those skills. Let's see what we got going here. NP1. Overall, a solid start for a Romulus. Can't wait to see some solid critical damage stuff on there. That would be great. And I love his ability to give them the Roman trait and get additional attack damage off of that. It's one of those servant designs where it's like, this is really unique. This is really interesting. I like to see more designs like Romulus Quirinus. Ozymandias, an absolute favorite for I know quite a few people. What lies beyond the horizon? Yep, Buster card effectiveness and NP gauge every single turn. Definitely works well on him. The skill that never needed a buff. Emiya was your first gold servant from the tutorial. Now he's NP5 and Bond 10. Yep. Emia was in my first tutorial role too, but he showed up with Heracles, so had a little bit of stiff competition. NP1 sitting there. Hold up, gang, my smoke detector's going off. Are we dead? No. Okay. Okay, we're not dead. Alright, the child. No, it was some other stuff happening. Alright, let's see what we got here. A really solid Dio. We are not dead, we're fine. Ooh, Ilia. Look at the Ilia ghost. Look at the Ilia. Look at the Ilia, my son. My precious child, my baby boy. Isn't that a very nice Ilia on the way to 120? I think so. I think so, my special boy. Aerial drive, of course, the ultimate representation. There he goes. The ultimate representation of Buster effectiveness. 10, 10, 10 on all of those skills. Heck yeah. Ooh, 8, 10, and 2. Next time you are all going to make sure I don't get away. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't do that. Ooh, NP5. Oh, and that is full. That's not something you see a lot. Full investment into Beast Paws, but no command codes. Strange. Strange. Chris Hansen, tell him take a seat right now. Hold on, my child is losing his mind right now. Come on, buddy. Come on. He wanted in, and then he realized in doesn't come with freedom. So, you know. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting Ilia. I'm wondering what you're gonna end up putting on her in the future when it comes to codes. Maybe some NP damage stuff. I would at least recommend putting a Star Gen over on this quick card. You're the full cute and funny list. Be police on one level, Ilia. It's the nature of the chat. We can't predict the chat. The chat is not rated by the ESRB. Ooh, Morgan, alright. Buster card NP gain, starting in P strength, sitting at 10, 10, 10 on this Morgan. Low magical energy 10. NP1. Heck yeah, gotta love Morgan. For all the hype that she got, I don't necessarily see her as much as I thought I would. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Morgan would be a lot more prolific on a lot of these support lists, but I mean, I see her, but she's starting to bounce. She's starting to bounce back a little bit. You need to put debuff removal on NP damage codes on Ilia. That is an excellent point. Let's wrap back to Ilia so we can go ahead and talk about that. So when it comes to Ilia's ability, she does unfortunately decrease her attack and defense as a demerit, but if you put something like White Vessel on her, you will be able to go ahead and cleanse those debuffs if you follow up her Noble Phantasm with that card, and then she will have, you know, she'll be able to actually attack at her full strength. She won't straight up, you know, hurt herself from too much raw magical energy. Prisma Ilia is literally peak entertainment. Were you the one that bought those 8,000 Blu-rays of Gushing with Magical Girls? Someone did. A lot of people did. It outsold Free Run. Gushing over Magical Girls outsold Free Run in the Blu-ray department. Just throwing that out there. Oberon. Love this design. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Caldea Tea Time sitting at the 10, 10, 10. Low Magic Energy 1. Lie Like Vortigern. And then, yeah, overall, the thing with Oberon is that he doesn't necessarily need codes. Yeah, Gushing Out Souls pre-run and JJK? Oh, man. I didn't know that second part. The thing with Oberon is that you don't necessarily need any command codes on him, because most of the time people are just going to be using him for his skills and nothing else. So if you want to save your QP, if you're QP deficient, like I know a lot of us are, then maybe considering characters like Oberon, characters like your supports, they don't necessarily need those command codes. Every time I see a command code on a support, I consider it a premium feature. So yeah, overall I gotta say, pretty dang cool Buster list. Everybody's Da Vinci Chan could be nice. It absolutely could be, but that would depend on how you're using Oberon. It could be nice, but on top of that, with the amount of investment that you have over here on Oberon, Sean, while Goldeye does have like a good investment, it all depends on your QP. So Oberon, like between the Noble Phantasm and the Buster boost, I feel like any sort of NP damage increase is absolute overkill on him. Like he will do enough damage. He will cause your Buster supporter to do enough damage. That's why his Buster skill is tied with the caveat of you are now useless after this turn. You better use that Noble Phantasm and you better destroy the entire enemy because you are straight up useless after this. So just something to keep in mind. I don't necessarily think that it's that necessary on him, but if you want to throw it on there, who am I to stop you? It's still technically a good decision. Alright, if you want to be friends with Sean, 424-401-621. Overall, a super duper solid list. I'm excited to see where your Ilia goes. Hopefully she will be 120 the next time you show up on the stream. Wouldn't that be a treat? Wouldn't that be a treat? Then again, getting any servant to 120 is a treat. Let's see what we got going on here. Is Non's Chris here? Literally telling the Buster Servant win or unalive. Such is the nature of Oberon. Yeah, Sean's got some really good stuff to work with. Absolutely. So close to 120, you'll get there. You'll get there. I just got my bar guess to 107. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's an absolute marathon. Just do what you can when you can. No activity from Non's Chris. We'll give him another minute, but then we'll move on to somebody else if not. Road to 120 Arcade, but it's a flop. I am hopeful. I am hopeful for Manpig that he gets his Arcade. I am very, very hopeful that that man gets his Arcade. He needs it. It will fulfill a need in his soul. I wish him all the luck in the world. Rebel is here, so we're going to go with Rebel. Where Rebel at? Okay, 963. I see it, Eric. I see it with my special eyes. 644-267. Referencing an ancient meme of an even more ancienter commercial. Rebel! Alright. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Just handpicked a couple of servants for today's support review. Well, let's take a Gandino and see what you wanted to show us. So we got Space Ishtar. My brand! Somebody knew the reference! It's a super ancient reference. Well, oh my gosh, hang on. Do I need to... Do I need to show them the video? Okay, listen, gang. This is very important. No, that's not what I want. It's very important. It's very important, chat. Very, very important. Hold on. It'll only take a second. It'll only take a second.
This has just arrived.
1-800 contacts. You can't have my brand. I have special eyes.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand.
That's it. That's all I needed to show you. That's it. Ooh, look, the list. Oh no. Oh no, the list. Oh no, Twitter. How do I change things? Yes, it's got to be the Mass Effect version. Why wouldn't it be the Mass Effect version? There, I figured it out. I know what, I know how things work. The volume was too low! Shit. Hold on. Hold on.
Your contact.
You saw Star Rail? There's Star Rail.
Lenses just arrived.
1-800 contacts. You can't have my brand. I have special eyes.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand.
Okay. That's it. That's all I got for you. I'm not showing it again. Just look for my brand.
Do whatever it takes to get them on.
We have the reference. I do not need to see Michael Scott doing conflict resolution in Mass Effect right now. We're doing stuff. Okay, Little Tailors. Little Tailors. Ooh, debuff immunity and an NP strength boost and a starting NP charge. I really don't see this one a lot. I think it's refresh support really quick. Are we refreshed? Are we good? I might have to force kill the app to show this. I might have to force kill the app for it to actually refresh. Rebel, do you need me to force kill the app? I am willing to do that for you. I am willing to do that for you. Do we force kill the app? Okay, good. We're good. Okay, cool. Alright, yep. We got Ishtar with the Rebel Tailors. Again, don't really see that a lot because of the focus on HP rather than attack. See what else we're working with here. Not necessary to sync in the append skills. And ooh, we've actually got command codes on this Space Ishtar. Da Vinci for the NP strength. Empress of the Hanging Gardens also for the NP strength. Wizard of Menlo Park for guess what? The NP strength. Then we got a little bit of a cleanse. And then buff success rate. Ah, for multiple Starling. I see. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I always forget that multiple Starling has, like, only a chance to increase effectiveness. That's something I've never considered with Space Ishtar. Because, like, she doesn't necessarily need it because her damage is crazy. But yeah, this is actually one of the servants where Luo Long Mask will benefit them because of that chance to increase. Huh. You get reminded of something every single day, I guess. You hate that Landling CE doesn't work on Space Ishtar's skill? It doesn't. Really? Really? That doesn't actually help her because the Noble Phantasm triggers multiple Starling? Oh, so it's a layering effect. If you use that code, then the NP, the buff success up, goes away. We need to suss this out really quick. We need to suss it out real quick. Now, does her Noble Phantasm, like, is multiple Starling gonna benefit from the CC effect? NP is what procs the CC effect? Oh, man. Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta time it for the second use of her third skill. It's a weird quirk because... Okay, so... Alright, so let's elaborate really quick here. Let's elaborate, because some people in the chat don't get it. Yes, exactly. You figured it out, Dozen. You straight up figured it out. Yeah, the code triggers as soon as a buff is activated. So since her Noble Phantasm has a Noble Phantasm damage increase, and most importantly... We're not even considering the overcharge effect. It's any buff. So her Noble Phantasm, you may not realize, increases the damage of her extra attack card by 100% for one turn. So because that's a buff, it procs the Luo Long Mask. And that ends up being an unfortunate issue. So it's just something you gotta consider. It's a weird buff layering effect you've got to figure out when using that code. So it's just something you got to keep in mind. Basically one of those things where if FGO had an auto mode, you wouldn't want to use it if you were running that code with Space Ishtar. Yeah, procs the chance even though it's guaranteed. It's weird. It's weird. Layering effects are weird, aren't they, gang? Okita Soji with Warlord's Rivalry. You forget if there's a Mystic code that has buff success up? I don't think so. Don't think so. Wait, so technically you can use that effect too if you use a card with a buffing command code, huh? Yep, it's a buff. It's a buff. Pure multicoloring can still be useful since you face carding the wave of another Servant's Noble Phantasm. Look at all this. Look at all this weird stuff we're figuring out together. But that's not the case on this level 100 Okita. No, no, no. Yep, Quick and Buster. Very, very effective. She is maxed out on all of her skills. Extra attack boost is maxed out as well. Ooh, okay. So, yep, both of the critical strength boosts on her quick card. Mini Nobu on the arts, and what's on the Buster? Buddy Ring Silver and Buddy Ring Gold? Well, I guess we know who your favorite is. You gave her both of the Buddy Rings. What up, Nuclear? I think this is the first time we've seen a servant with both of the Buddy Rings. No problem, Rebel. I was clearing some stuff out. Wow. Both of the Buddy Rings on one servant. Big Okita fan. Big Okita fan, I gotta say. And then, yep, here's Chloe. Double Chloe tattoos on the Okita. Yep, level 100 Chloe. Ocean Flyer, super good. 10, 10, 10. NP5, of course, and boom, pure crit damage. It's a double marriage. I know we got married, but what about second marriage? True commitment. Strange, because you'd expect to see that on the Chloe usually, if Chloe ever shows up on a support list. Curious. Curious. Fellow Grail Chloe, it's my cellmate. It's my cellmate. Oh, wow. Yeah, Black Grail on a Melu, 10, 10, 10. Like 17k attack. NP2 on top of that. Oh my gosh, she is doing numbers. We got critical strength. We've got sure hit and critical strength. Honestly, I think this is one of the best critical strength codes in the game. I think it honestly even outpaces other stuff because remember, if someone dodges your attack or they evade it in any sort of way, you deal 0 damage. You deal 0 damage. So having the sure hit is very, very helpful. Vajra for critical strength and defense ignore. Brush of Mad Painter for critical strength. And more critical strength on Phantasmal Horse. Yeah, this Melu is designed in such a way that she can do either farming or single target shenanigans. I'll try and make some time when you do the summer reviews. I'm hoping to have the world's fattest Ibuki. I look forward to it. If you ever pull that NP3 or higher, it's a tough choice between mana loading and extra attack boost on her. Right? It's just the amount that you deal off of that. Like, the mana loading can absolutely be really great on her art slowdown. But man, the extra attack from the Buster can just be some true Buster Unga Bunga. And yeah, extra attack can also, with the looping, really keep her going. I don't really know what the nitty-gritty math is on that. But with Ivan the Terrible, we at least know that he is Big Yoshi. Ooh, Distant Pilgrimage. NP gain, NP strength. He's 10-10-6. That totally works. I always forget he gets Anti-Avenger. Huh. One of those servants I really regret not having. Like, I wish I would have gotten Ivan the Terrible, because his design is just one of the coolest designs in FGO. Ooh, Fairy Tale of Rain and Stars. Rare that this is seen, honestly. I'm glad that we're seeing it. Colonel Automaton. This is all for Stargather, so Ivan can get some refund, pure crit strength on those Buster cards, and star drop rate. And I can totally get doing this on Ivan just because he's a rider, he's got naturally high star weight. If you pair him with people who can make enough critical stars, it necessarily doesn't matter. Yes, Andy's voiced by Kazuma Kiryu. Oh my gosh, I always forget that. I always forget he's voiced by Kiryu's VA. Wow. And man, Infinite Wealth was such a good game. Let me just throw that out there randomly. Infinite Wealth was such a good game. Is it really rare? It's a week old. Yes, it's rare because the chance of seeing it before was 0. Take care, Chef. Have a good class. Alright. Ooh, Gramps. Level 100 Gramps. How about that new Hassan, right, chat? That new Hassan looks really, really cool. You got Ivan on recent raid up. Ooh, nice. Congratulations. Queen Priestess' Spare a Moment. Critical Strength, NP starting at 50%. Good, good, good. 10-10-10. Not worried about a Pens yet, because MP1, I totally get it. Let's see what we're working with here. Ooh, Demon Vice Commander. This works great on anyone with a Guts. Which, of course, Gramps has. Star Gather rate and HP recovery. Destroy Chaotic Evil. That's a callback if I've ever seen one. To team out. Want to check your waiver again really quick? I'll check your waiver. No problem. Hero of the Endowed. Gramp needs that buff sooner. Soon. He'll get it. Soon. How did I do on Tesla Fest? Again, I was on vacation. I think I didn't even finish the boxes correctly the first time in the event, honestly. Alright, what am I looking at with this waiver? Yes, Hide Hunter rules. Absolutely. Ooh! Ooh! Buff cleanse. Buff cleanse. Buff cleanse. Buff cleanse. Buff cleanse. Ah, tons of good buff removal on him. That's a great idea for a support servant for sure. Wow, that is a very interesting command code setup. I gotta say, kudos. Absolute kudos for ya. Super neat, super neat. And yeah, item construction does increase debuff success rate, huh? Wow. That is very interesting. That is a very interesting setup for Waiver. And yeah, he's got the Hide Hunter instant critical star stuff. Crit down is always the best. Crit down is so good for boss fights. So good. Ooh, an old man who really needs an animation update. You still don't have the Castoria? Waiver still carries to this day. Like, he's still really, really good. Waiver is your sub for the no Castoria L. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. He'll do a good job. This man really needs an update. I'm also very upset that his glasses costume makes it so he doesn't have the big floof thing around his neck. Like, he needs the floof thing. I love the floof thing on him. Buster card, critical strength, and 20 critical stars. Okay. 10, 10, 10 on all of that. NP1. Alright, we got critical stars off of that. Ooh, we got critical stars off of that. I see exactly what we're going for here. Critical stars off of Troya Hippos. An NP gauge boost here. And Mini Coup for the thematic. Saying that's why you don't use her costume. The costume? Yeah, right? Right? That's the worst thing about that costume. They need to give him the big floofy thing. You're a little upset Karna doesn't have the shades on in his NP close-up? Again, agree! Agree! I mean, I'm glad some really overlooked servants like Sanson got costumes. But, like, wow. Wow. Oh, GL, you want me to talk up Volume and Hydrogyrum on this man? Like, you want me to talk up Volume and Hydrogyrum? Because, God, I love Volume and Hydrogyrum. Excellent last stand. Craft Essence. I use it on Coup Alter routinely. I use it on my Heracles since I don't have the Bond CE just yet. I'm almost there. I'm at like Bond 9.5 or something like that. But super good. Multiple turns of invincibility. Nothing's going to touch you. You'll be able to use the evasions right off of that. I strongly consider Volume and Hydrogyrum Coup Alter's best in slot Craft Essence. It's super, super good. And yeah, he's one of those servants where, like, his kit somehow still holds up despite how old he is. They just gotta give him an animation update. Just give him an animation update. Ooh, Melt. 2K Melt, road to 120. Was it you, Rebel, that was saying that you regret the fact that you unlocked her pen skill because she could be a lot higher? Summertime Mistress, 10, 10, 10. Extra attack boost 10, NP2. Ooh, full command cards leveled up. Mistress of the Heavens for some critical strength. BB slots. Holy Shroud of Lovers. I've got that on my bar guess. It's very, very good. The defense debuff is great. First Servant for the damage cut. And Heaven Sent Chromachow for the critical strength. Jalter got an animation update. There is hope. There absolutely is. There absolutely is. The detractors were destroyed categorically when Jalter got that animation update. There is hope for animation updates. They will happen. They will happen eventually. We just gotta believe. We just gotta wait and hope. Like that new absolutely busted Count of Monte Cristo they released on JP. Wait and hope for something like that. Really want Jailter and Nursery Crimes to get an animation update. They also need one, don't they? They've been featured in a lot of events. They kind of deserve one at this point. Overall, I gotta say, this is dope. This is super dope. I really like the setup you've got on your waiver. Thank you for saying, no, you should really go look at my waiver. That was very, very important. I applaud your love for Okita. Your Melu's looking great. I wish you luck on developing her, and very interesting conversation we had off of the Space Ishtar. So a lot of good things to talk about came out of this support list. One of the reasons I love doing support review. If you want to be friends with Rebel, 963-644-267. Eric is going to call Nons Chris. I'm going to grab a drink of water really quick, and I'll be right back, and we'll hop right into that one. I almost hit the thing. But I remembered. Don't you worry. Alright, 366, 609, 503, and we're in. Christian, I'm already liking what I'm seeing. I am already liking this immediate representation of the account. And Chris, I believe you said you needed command code advice. I'm double checking in the chat. Yep, do the list with Morgan, need the CE and CC advice. Gotcha. Pun intended. Let's see what we got here. Morgan. Here we go. Here's one, Morgan. Alright, cool. Let's get the ball rolling. Chat, feel free to interject as much as possible. I love when the chat is also active and giving people advice. There's good ideas. There's good ideas that come out of the chat. I will stand by that, dang it. Alright, Morgan's rocking poolside bar for busted card effectiveness, NP gain, and NP strength. 661 on those skills. Alright. NP1 on Roadless Camelot. Alright. Alright, gotta pump those levels up. Yep, we did say it's a work in progress. Don't worry. Yeah, don't judge my skill levels focusing on ascending. I wasn't planning on it. Whenever someone asks me for advice, I understand that aspects of their account might be a work in progress, and I'm not worried about focusing on those specific things. I'm focused on trying to give them the advice that they are specifically craving. So yeah, Morgan is definitely very Noble Phantasm focused. Her NP, just the special attack damage, the curse, the overcharge boost that she is also going to get benefit from are all very, very important things. And dealing extra damage to the humans. Good stuff. But when it comes to specific craft essences, I mean, you can go ahead and give her the standard Aerial Drive, the standard Holy Night Supper. Those are good freebie options. They're very, very helpful for craft essences. Black Grail, of course, is always really good. Partake with the King, Starry Nights, good Buster, crit, Noble Phantasm damage. That's generally what you're looking for. When it comes to codes, yeah, crit down command codes like GLJ has put in here is very, very important. When it comes to Berserkers in general, they are paper thin. One unlucky hit is going to absolutely obliterate them. So it is very, very unhelpful when she is just obliterated and ends up dealing 0 damage because she ends up, having no health whatsoever. So when it comes to things like critical down command codes, let me see what we got here to work with. Am I looking at ailment infliction rather than any sort of other debuffs? I am. So if we're looking into things like critical attack chance reduction, you can go ahead and give her something like Mysterious Mask is probably going to be a really, really easy get for her. 3-star code, 1 critical star, critical attack chance down by 10%. And remember, these stack. That's part of the reason these are getting recommended. So if you're fighting a boss, critical attack chance down can be very, very helpful. I might recommend you put these on your arts card, for example. So consider that. Consider Azure Spiritron's command seal in the future. Consider the old school Pigeon Report. Pigeon Report can be great because it removes a critical damage up buff from the enemy. So that's another thing to consider. Quick card. Boom, star generation. Just as many stars as you can generate. Code Glitter's the freebie option. Basically, absolutely anything you can do for that. For the Buster cards, I definitely recommend critical damage. When it comes to critical damage, there's a lot of really, really good things you can go ahead and equip on here. Let's see what we got to work with. So far, I'm trying to see where we're at. Curse Spear that reverses causality, super good, ends up making it so she can ignore evasion. That big critical star gather can be great too. I wouldn't recommend Demon Vice Commander just because if she gets hit, she's going to die, so let's not worry about that. You know, you got your Heavenly Child of Kurama. Staff of the Dragon Saintess can be fun if you're bringing her to fight dragons, but it's not necessarily that that overall good. You can give her something like Majin-san. You can give her something like Mini Nobu, Blades of Niton Doraku, Mistress of the Heavens. Vajra that annihilates desire, has ignore defense and crit damage. And you just mentioned Vajra that annihilates desire the second I said that. Stop. Hush. And Jin just mentioned Vajra that annihilates desire just as I said that. So those are all great things to consider. I've also seen people in the chat recommending putting curse codes on her. If you don't want to go the crit route, that's another good idea. Fill her up with curse codes, because the curse will stack with her Noble Phantasm's curse, and you'll get your enemy essentially getting eaten alive by curse every single turn. But yeah, Holy Night Supper is great. Aerial Drive is great for craft essences. Hopefully that all ends up helping you out. We also have the Bunyan CE that we'll be getting soon on NA. Which one's the Bunyan CE again? Is that cheerful? Are we talking about cheerful companions? Critical attack chance up and increase critical damage by 10%. I mean, oh, Caval the Second too. Caval the Second is great. Critical star absorption and critical damage on that Buster card. So give her a doggo. Give her a doggo. That can work too. Alright, let's see what else we've got to work with. Benny Enma. Ignore Invincible and increase NP strength. That can work for some damage dealing. And then we've got the baskets. Yeah, critical strength and few debuffs. Some HP restoration off of that. Alright, and then let's see what we got going here. So, yeah, she's arts, so I like the idea of star gather rate on her arts cards. That can be very, very good for a sort of refund on there. And then, yep, Code Glitter sitting there on the quick card, always a good stand-in. When it comes to Benny Enma, you can go, like, one of two directions with her. So you can keep a setup like this and just throw, like, critical damage command codes on the Buster cards, and then just try to maximize her damage that way. Or, if you want to be silly with her third skill, and be really silly with her third skill. Yes, also Benny Enma really benefits from the Suzuka Summer CE. We've been mentioning it repeatedly. It is a very, very good boost to Noble Phantasm damage. Works great on her. You can also go ahead and give Benny Enma... No, I did not want Trade Edition. If you want to be silly, you can also consider giving Benny Enma some healing codes for a little bit of a meme team. Just try to stack those with her final skill and just have her help keep your team alive. A really, really fun and silly one I like to see on Benny Enma sometimes is Good Wife Wise Fox. If you use that and then follow up with her third skill, you're going to get a solid HP boost on specifically Benny Enma from her third skill. It can really help keep her alive. It's just a silly little meme thing you can do. Technically, Buster Crit is a lot better, but you can also have fun with the heals as well. It is entirely allowed. Things like Bride of White Roses. Your Faithful Sheep can be great for recovering some HP and cleansing some debuffs. You've got Angel's Bed to remove critical attack chance up while giving her some sort of healing. If you're fighting a boss, that can be super good. Yes, you can also do Great Witch's Wheat Porridge for jokes. Recover the enemy's HP by 300, but then give them 1,000 points of poison damage for 3 turns. You can have her throw Gordon Ramsay Pad Thai right at her opponent. So that can be silly. And if you want to be silly on the quick card as well, while also giving yourself some extra benefits on top of that, maybe consider Hero of the Endowed if you have it. That's 3 critical stars, but on top of that, it is a little bit of HP recovery. Synchronizes nicely with their 3rd skill. There's 1 of 2 ways you can really go with Benny Enma. Either of those can end up being really beneficial. I would say use the Suzuka Summer CE if you got it. If not, chat also recommended Ocean Flyer. Ocean Flyer is a more recent pick and can also be really, really good for Betty Enma too. Oh, you can also give her, if you want to lean into special attacks against, like, evil enemies and stuff like that. That's also a thing you can do. Oh gosh, what are these names right here that I'm trying to figure out? So she gets bonuses against chaotic enemies and evil enemies. Of course, Proprietress of the Sparrows Inn can actually be really good on her Buster card. That actually features Benny Enma, and it gives chaotic and evil special attack damage. So that can be super duper fun. You can also go ahead and give her something like, I actually think that might be the only one that synergizes with that. Oh, Evangelist of Unconditional Love. That's got Amor on it. That can also give you a bonus against chaotic alignment enemies as well. So if you want to lean in that special attack route, that works great for her too. Next up, the Napoleon of Crime. Alright, Hero Ellie's Adventure for Buster Card Effectiveness and NP Strength. Alright, so when it comes to Moriarty, we've got some things to consider. So, with Moriarty, he's got a lot of great things going for him after you do all of his skills. The Free Shooter gives Ignore Defense and gives some critical stars. That can be super duper good. Of course, Extremity of Spider Webs, you have to consider the fact that you need critical stars for that. So we're going to be taking that into consideration as we build him. And then he's got a general evil alignment buff on top of that for his entire party. A lot of defense reduction. It's weird. So with Moriarty, we only really need to worry about using End of the Spider's Web once. So if we're going into star-generating craft essences... I'm looking into this. So we're looking into craft essences that would, like, give us critical stars immediately. We want critical stars immediately. Where's my 5 stars? You run Carp on yours? Yep, we want to consider Carp. Carp can definitely help, grants you immediate stars. There's what is the name of it? It features it has Matahari and Scheherazade on it. It's from Oku. That one also grants immediate critical stars. Hide Hunter also grants immediate critical stars. Basically anything that immediately gives critical stars so he can have the capacity to pop his second skill ends up being really, really helpful. But yes, another premium option that Jin is recommending is Fragment CE on support solves Moriarty's crit star needs. Yes, another thing to consider on top of that is once you finally upgrade that first skill, that grants a nice little 10 to 20 star bomb. So if you go ahead and get that bonus for the first skill, star bomb, and then follow up with the second skill, you won't necessarily worry about that. But if you still want to keep stars after that, a lot of people like to run Carp. A lot of people like to run that Scheherazade and Matahari CE that I'm completely blanking on. I can't forget. I just keep forgetting the name. But it's got Moriarty and Scheherazade. It's from Oku. Maybe someone in the chat will find it. Yeah, Scenic Beauty gives 20 stars and boosts Arts and Buster. Is that it? Is it Scenic Beauty? Is it Scenic Beauty? No, Scenic Beauty has Ishtar on it. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find it. It's from Oku. I'll know it when I see it. Yeah, Hide Hunter, Scenic Beauty, Gilding the Lily! Gilding the Lily. That's it. Gilding the Lily. That's quick, arts, and critical stars. Yeah, Scenic Beauty is Ishtar Bridge. Yeah, Crowning Beauty, Greater Glory, which was changed to Gilding the Lily in NA. Yep, that's the one. That's the one I like to recommend because Moriarty's got 3 arts cards and a quick card on top of his Buster Noble Phantasm. His kit's so weird. That it becomes difficult to recommend a lot of stuff for him. But yeah, that was the one I was looking for, was Gilding the Lily. That'll grant you a nice Star Bomb. You can use that with his first skill. If you get his first skill at level 10, you'll be left with 10 stars left over. And on top of that, we are going to be getting another 20 from Gilding the Lily. So that will leave you 30 stars to work with for Moriarty. Asimo! 880-418-058. Sorry, if it isn't much, keep the good W. Listen. I appreciate it regardless. You know, I'm not gonna be like a dark side Phil about this. I'm not gonna yell at people for quote unquote not giving enough in the chat and all that. I do this because it's fun and I enjoy it. Yes, I enable ads to get a little bit of extra scratch. I just appreciate the support regardless of the form it comes in. If you super chat, I super duper appreciate it. If you're just actively participating in the chat, I super duper appreciate it. If you're, talking on the Discord, watching the videos, sharing the videos with your buddies, all of that is support and all of that is appreciated. Please never feel obligated. Never feel obligated to super chat me. But when you do, I appreciate it. But don't feel obligated to do so. No, don't feel obligated to do so. Yeah, I do not accept your sorry isn't much. I appreciate your support. I do. Thank you. Please add Asimo to the next bit on the list, and we'll go from there. But let's get back to recommending. Stuff. Kaiser did just correct me. His S2 doesn't eat stars; it just requires them. I don't have my own Moriarty, so I completely forget that fact. You just need to have 10 stars in the bank. You will still keep the 40 stars if you have a maxed first skill as well as that craft essence. Sorry I made you go on a big hunt for a CE. That's part of the beauty of this. That's part of what I like about this, is being able to do things like this. Go on big hunts for craft essences, look at weird builds I'd never seen before. That's all great stuff. Oh no. I need to see if we're on fire again, I'm sorry. Are we dead? Once again, not dead. We're fine. Once again, not dead. You didn't get me this time, chat. Alright, let's look at Karna. Queen Priestess's Spare Moment. That gives critical strength, Buster card critical strength, and NP stuff. Nice. Awesome. I think that's fairly good on Karna. I always like giving him things like Hot Sands. I really like giving him that CE super early on. I think Lancers do definitely benefit from critical stuff, even if their Star Gather is only average. Odds are they're going to be your main user of those critical stars anyways. I feel like it ends up working out. Hey, thanks, Zero. I appreciate that. Are we dead? Yeah, so when it comes to Karna's kit, GL beat me to it. So he really likes critical star gather rate. He has no bonus star weight, which makes his kit feel really funky. I could not have said it better myself. I absolutely could not have said it better myself. So when it comes to Karna in general, we want to go ahead and, you know, get the benefit from unarmed crowned arms mastery. You know, those critical stars we drop, let's get them to flow to Karna so he can go ahead and use those effectively. So when it comes to our star gathering command codes, we actually have a ton of really good options. Star gathering command codes are actually one of the, I honestly feel like one of the craziest and coolest. Those notifications are really delayed. Again, thank you, Zero. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So when it comes to star absorption, we have many, many options. We can go ahead and give him the standard stuff on here. So we're looking at, I'm trying to look at recent stuff. So, you know, I'm not giving you ancient codes that you might not have. Caval II on his Buster card, star absorption and critical damage packaged all together in one. You can go ahead and give him Lady Justice. That's pretty nice. That grants a couple of critical stars, as well as an increase in star absorption. You can also go ahead and give him something like, no, we don't have that one. You can give him Meteoric Bellows. That grants a little bit of burn, but you can also go ahead and inflict some burn. Majin San is great because it's star absorption and critical damage all together in one. That's also super duper helpful. You can also just go with Code Focus if you're just focused, no pun intended that time, on going ahead and getting yourself some stars to flow there. So that's how we get the stars to flow the Buster cards. When we talk about getting the stars to flow literally everywhere else, we have a couple of great options that chat just recommended. Sealing Designation Enforcer, like GLJ said, most accessible option for Karna. So that can get some stars to go ahead and immediately flow into him. If we start in 2020, let's go ahead and go down here. I'm trying to look for recent stuff that I know has shown up to me repeatedly. You can give him the Jinako CE, Room Guard. Room Guard ends up granting critical star absorption and a damage reduction to boot. A nice flat damage reduction. Talk of the Hot Sands was the one I was talking about previously. That's star absorption and critical damage. You might not have that, but I used that on Karna for a very, very long time, and it was super duper good for him. Let's see what else we got here. A Tale of Love and Hope can be great. That's star absorption, critical damage, and a starting NP gauge boost on top of that. Zero, funny fact, Ozzy and Karna activated the fire alarms. Coincidence? I think not. Tale of Love and Hope can be great for starting NP gauge, star absorption, critical damage, like I just said. What else do we got that came out recently? I think that's as far as we are going up here. For a budget option, you can give him the Doman playing golf. Craft Essence if you want. That's star absorption and a little bit of NP damage. So those are all great options for feeding stars into Karna, so he is able to actually effectively utilize his critical damage boost. If you can get star absorption and critical damage on it, that's great. Is Hot Sands the CE with Gil and Clay? Yes. Yes, it is. If you have that, I would, I may be a little nostalgic about it, but that's the one I always like to throw onto, Karna because it feels really, really good, and all of its stats are placed firmly in attack to boot. So that's another little bonus for you. When it comes to Karna's arts cards, you can just go with general cleanses if you want. I wouldn't necessarily put the Star Gather on Karna's arts cards because we want the stars to go to the Buster card. Super focused. Make sure the stars are going where you want to go. You don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen fighting for stars, because then they're just not going to go where you want to go. And just a super easy star generation on that. Yeah, even if it's not MLB, that is still a 400% star absorption boost and 20% critical damage. It's more than enough. That is one of those craft essences where anything above that is just going to be gravy. Yeah, A Walk in the Park, Star Gather, NP damage, 60% battery, also super duper good on Karna. But nostalgically, Hot Sands. Nostalgically, talk on Hot Sands. Moving over to Nemo. Greatest Ocean. Arts card effectiveness, NP strength, increase NP charge by 1 level when using the Noble Phantasm. And yeah, NP strength boost effect increases with overcharge. So this is actually really where you do want to be focusing with Nemo. Like, these are 3 of the most important things for Nemo. Arts card effectiveness, NP strength, and NP charge. Love the Super Karna skin, by the way. It's one of the best skins in the game. I use it all the time. That is my preferred Karna skin. It's so good. Yeah, this again also has stats placed firmly in attack. Great 4-star option for Nemo. Now when it comes to Nemo, I have feelings on the way they implemented Nemo, and I feel like Nemo kind of got robbed in general with the way Nemo was created in FGO. Nemo has a thing where they benefit from changing the field, but the field type is like one of the rarest field types in the game. So Nemo's damage is a lot worse than it ever could be. Nemo really needs a field changer skill in some capacity. Freaking Zhang Zhao has a field changer, and the man is a 3-star servant. Nemo got power crypt hard. So when it comes to Nemo's general command codes, and don't worry, Moaz, we're gonna get there. I'm gonna talk up one of my favorite craft essences in the game in just a minute. But when it comes to Nemo in general, I honestly just like to go pure star absorption on the arts cards for any sort of refund, as well as just critical damage. Anything we can do to try to buff up Nemo's critical damage, because Nemo's not getting the benefits on the Noble Phantasm from the from the field 98% of the time. FGO took half of his kit. Very astute way to look at it, T. Lee. So with Nemo, just go critical damage, ride that heavy rider star weight into the ground, critical damage on the buster cards, star absorption and critical damage if you can on the arts cards, and star generation on the quick card. Probably one of the biggest damage boosts you can give Nemo is something that Moaz recommended, one of my favorite craft essences in the entire game. He's a rider, he doesn't need Star Absorb, he does for those specific arts cards. When we have an option to choose between a Buster card and an arts card, and they show up randomly, because FGO is a game where you draw random cards from a deck that you don't see, you want to make sure as many stars are going to the arts card, preferably over the Buster card as possible. So if you can give Star Absorption specifically on Nemo's arts cards with those command codes, it's going to be overall more effective at refunding Nemo's Noble Phantasm, trying to boost up Nemo's damage all around. So I will defend to the death Star Absorption on Nemo's arts cards. I don't think anybody's going to change my mind on that. When it comes to Nemo's craft essence, consider Origin Bullet, if you ever get it, or if you have it. Origin Bullet features Kiritsugu. It is what I still consider the best craft essence you could possibly put on any sort of rider in the entire game. What Origin Bullet does is all of its stats are placed firmly into attack. It is a permanent ignore invincibility and increases the damage against caster class enemies by 35 to 40%. That 40% is at max limit break. So if you're fighting a caster class enemy, throw someone who can deal extra damage against caster classes, like a rider there, give them Origin Bullet, and you will just watch them immediately obliterate them. I immediately favorited Origin Bullet the second I got it. It is an absolutely cracked command code, works great on AoE riders, works even better on single target riders. I love it to pieces. If you aren't using Origin Bullet or haven't favorited Origin Bullet yet, go do that now. You're welcome. Alright, cast skill. I'm already starting to say no notes on the craft essence, because this is great. Fragment 2030. Love it. Love it. Couldn't ask for anything better. You're in the absolute correct headspace. You're going to also go with Child of Atlas. It feels like the major large enemies he gets bonus against are Berserkers. That is definitely something where you have to majorly consider the enemy type. But a lot of times you're not necessarily going to be fighting super large enemies. If you know the enemy type, then go for it. Go for it and fight your giant Berserker enemies with Child of Atlas. I just think Origin Bullet is the absolute best thing we can get. Can't wait to get my 5th Origin Bullet. Yeah, 5% more damage, baby. Ooh, NP5 Casco. Alright, so Casco. Looking at Casco. We're again looking at a general supporter. So like I've said previously, for every single supporter, since you're still focusing on command codes, I have found that mostly damage dealers benefit from command codes. So with Caster Gilgamesh, I would just ignore him for now. I would recommend just ignoring him for now. Just go ahead and focus on getting codes for other allies. If you want to go ahead and start putting stuff on Casgil, you can go ahead and give him something like, Star Gen on that quick card can be very, very helpful. If you end up having to use it, you're going to try to avoid it if at all possible. On the arts cards, you could give him some sort of personal cleanse or a party-wide heal like Bride of the White Rose. That can be super duper helpful. And the same can even be said for the Buster card. We're not necessarily doing damage. We're not worried about doing damage at all. We're worried about effects that can help our party. Castergil is there to go rah, fight the power, and make everybody feel better. First Hassan. Black Grail. NP strength and lose 500 HP per turn. So we've got Black Grail equipped. And for our codes, we got a little bit of star generation on that. So when it comes to First Hassan, he's a strange one, ain't he? He is a very, very strange one. In all honesty, just chuck star drops if we're sticking with 2030C. First Hassan. So Black Grail can definitely be alright on him, but look at some of First Hassan's skills here. We've got Buster card effectiveness getting increased when he dies. We've got even more Buster card effectiveness increase on here. We've got an attack boost on here as well. So what are we going to try to do with a character that is focused entirely on 3 Buster cards and is probably going to be our main damage dealer, who we're probably going to be feeding stars to? Critical damage. Critical damage. Fine Sword's a great idea. Ignore Invincibility is great. I love seeing that on the main damage dealing cards. You can also go ahead and give him any sort of critical damage on here as well. Go check out Wodon if you want to use Gramps for solos. Excellent, excellent recommendation. I would definitely say go check out Wodon. Wodon does some great stuff with Gramps. You'll see some awesome setups for Gramps solos and Last Stand Gramps stuff on that channel. Great. Absolutely awesome. But Buster Performance up and starting NP gauge can be great to try to inflict death on like a big gigantic boss that you're fighting. Try to get past that death resist if at all possible. Remember that Hassan also has a little bit of a chance to instantly kill an opponent. I've only had it proc like twice, but it was hilarious when a random Buster card just nuked an enemy and I was just cackling. Try to go for critical damage on those Buster cards. Use that to just pull out as much damage from Gramps as possible. I like what you're working with on the quick card already. That's a great pick. When it comes to the arts cards, the difficulty is... The difficulty is, yes, Gramps' arts card is great. Gramps' arts card is really, really cool. They have amazing generation in terms of stars generated as well as stuff you can get from art stuff. So you can try if you want to put any sort of Star Gather on that arts card if you want. It's just not necessarily going to be consistent. Unless you're using Gramps in general for solos, I mean, you're not going to get the perfect cards you want. This is something I always try to get people to consider when I'm looking into, like, FGO builds and things to talk about, is the cards you draw are not going to be perfect by any means. 98% of the time, you're not going to be drawing the absolute perfect chain you could possibly have. So you need to plan for different eventualities. So when the rare chance that arts card pops up, you can go ahead and try to use Stargather to go ahead and push through and generate a bunch of Noble Phantasm off of that. Or you could just end up giving him something like Moaz just recommended, the Merlin command code. That can be great to just pull a little extra charge out of that arts card. Or you can just go ahead and use it as a utility card. Give Gramps some sort of cleanse in the event that, Protection of the Faith has dropped off and you just need an emergency critical damage down cleanse or something like that. That is something to consider as well. It's weird. Gramps' weighted cards are very, very strange. And I think that's about the best advice I could give for him. Oh, when it comes to, did I even go ahead? Yeah, Maiden of Orleans would absolutely help on that arts card. You're right. That would definitely help Gramps survive more. Just 1,000 HP to recover. And then if we're looking at craft essences, I mean, Holy Night Supper is always a great recommendation. Partake with the King, First Sunrise. Get yourself some nice starting gauge so you can try to use that Noble Phantasm and eliminate somebody. But then get bonuses from Buster up and things like that as well. If you're going to lean into the Buster cards, just try to go for Buster damage up, since those are the main cards Hassan's dealing damage with. Penthesilea. Aerial Drive? Okay, I can definitely see that working on him. Her? Jeez. I still got First Hassan on the brain. When it comes to Penthesilea, so let's take a look at skills here. Not really any sort of way for her to focus on critical damage, right? There's no reason to put any sort of, Stargather on her Buster cards. Her crits are going to be in the single digits for star weight, so we need to think of other things to do with her. So get that star gain on the quick card. Use that arts card for any sort of, supportive abilities. And when it comes to the Buster cards, we do have other options available. So when it comes to Year 1 Charisma Pain, oh my gosh, who could have guessed Year 1 Charisma Pain? So when it comes to damage, I mean, you could give her Sword of the Beginning and the End. That's just a flat additional 1,000 damage, but any extra point of damage is a good extra point of damage. God, this is so difficult just because she doesn't have any sort of crazy way to manipulate Stargather stuff. I guess you could try something like ignore stuff on her. That would probably be my best recommendation, looking at the way her kit's constructed. So things that end up ignoring things like evasion, ignoring things like defense, ignoring things like invincibility. So excellently thin crafted blade, Hunter of Love, Giant Blue Ox ignores defense. That can also be very, very good on her. Let's see, what else do we got here that we might be waiting on. We don't have Drowsy Bomb yet. We don't have that new Musashi code. Penth just in general needs a lot of help. I mean, she's really, really good against single enemies, but her kit's just weird. She needs a buff. She needs a buff really bad. I'm not even necessarily comfortable recommending stars on her just because of her low weight. I'm really not. But I would say ways to get around enemy defenses, because if you go ahead and look at her kit, she doesn't really have any sort of way to get around enemy defenses. She's got an NP gauge steroid per turn. She's got some Buster card effectiveness and special attack stuff. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the state Penthesilea is in. She needs some sort of bonus. Oh boy, chat's gonna have some feelings on this one. So, talk about an insane servant. Talk about an absolutely absurd character. So when it comes to Tyra, we've got options. Oh boy, do we have options. So Tyra in general, between like the buff removal and, you know, the chance to inflict curse and the crazy grudge of vengeance stuff and the massive critical strength boost, she's a monster. She is an absolutely insane monster. She is lore accurate Ushiwakamaru. You can go ahead and just give her as much critical damage as humanly possible and just go ahead and watch her absolutely go to town. It is going to be crazy nutty the amount of damage you're going to be able to do with those quick cards and those arts cards. Another fun thing I've seen people do, and I'm just putting this out there, if you happen to have Honey Lake, I've seen people use Tyra no Kagekyo as their main Honey Lake user. So anyone, and here's the beautiful thing about command codes, and I'm going to reiterate this to people in the chat that might not know this. Anyone can be your Honey Lake user. It doesn't have to be Yongui Fei. You can take Honey Lake, and as long as you give the person on your team some sort of burn command code, you can have them benefit from Honey Lake's damage. You can have them get that additional damage boost, and it just goes absolutely gonzo. I made my Avenger Nobunaga my Honey Lake user, and wow, is it both thematic and crazy. I think she's jumped, I think she's jumped up crazy in some of the tier lists. You do use Honey Lake on Yongui Fei, so I wanted to mention that for the chat. But, yeah, Honey Lake is worth mentioning, and then we've also got, the critical stuff. So in your particular situation, I would recommend critical damage on the quick cards, and Star Gather on the quick cards, so you can generate more stars to crit even more. Just get a flat critical damage boost on that Buster card, and with the arts cards, you can go ahead and give her some sort of cleanse, or if you want, you can give her arts cards or any of her other cards curse codes as well. Build up the curse and cackle maniacally. A lot of people would prefer to use that on Van Gogh or Ashidomon, but if you don't have them, throw some curse on Tyra no Kagekyo, and that can be great. The Christmas Craft Essence will also work for Tyra, since it's all attack versus the one you have that's all HP. Yeah, if you have Traces of Christmas, it's got a lot of bonuses and attack. That would probably be your best freebie bet for Tyra no Kagekyo. Traces of Christmas is a very, very good freebie craft essence. I've been mentioning it for a ton of people, and it's going to be, it might be an overall damage increase for you if you go ahead and focus on that instead. Honestly, Wii Fei was the first time you knew exactly what codes to use. It's funny. It's funny when a character is so well designed in their niche that you know exactly how to build them. The negative that comes from that is you know exactly how to build them. So if you don't have those things to build them exactly the way they're supposed to be built, then you're kind of SOL. There's not really any sort of room for flexibility in the way that you build that character. So that is the boon and the detriment of Yongui Fei. She is so well designed and so laser focused in her design that there is nowhere to go from there. Does she have curse up? She has the ability to inflict curse, so you can go ahead and stack some curse stuff for some absolute silliness. But between Oblivion Correction as a passive and the ability to grant some, to decrease everyone else's critical star gather rate, for you specifically, go critical damage. Go critical damage. Alright, overall, I hope I was able to help Nons. I know we stuck onto this one a little bit longer, but I really wanted to go ahead and make sure we, really focused on, making sure you knew what we needed. You knew what had to be done, and you can walk away from this very well informed. And for everyone else who's watching, they can also walk away from looking at this support review very well informed. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope I was able to help you out, Chris. All right, I am late on putting this in, so give me just a second, chat. And you can walk away from. I have double speak on. Let me turn this off. You're welcome. I'm happy to help. There, the message has been pinned. Cool. Next up is Asimo Kotobukiya, our last super chat, and don't worry, we're still looking at another person after this, so don't worry. Don't go anywhere. We're not going to end on a super chat. We're going to end it on, you know, a rando and all that. So Asimo Kotobukiya, 880-418-058. Let's see what we got going here. All right, Tona. All right. This is the list we got, and I can see a theme. Can we expect an end of the year review of my support list with that level 120 Bazette? I will consider a video. I will. I should probably be doing that for both this and Star Rail, just like my account in review, like at the end of the year and stuff like that. That's a good idea. I should really consider that. All right, let's start off looking at this Astolfo. Pink Beach, sure hit, quick card effectiveness, and NP gain. Those are sure good things that Astolfo would like to see. We're 10-10 on all those skills. Low magical energy is looking good. NP2, and let's see what we're cooking with here. Critical strength on the Buster card. Stars and remove an attack buff. Heck yeah. There's a buddy ring! There's a buddy ring. We've got Mage of Flowers for a little bit of NP gain over here. And Nobu Sengumi increasing critical strength on there. A overall super solid Astolfo build. And Asimo, let me know what if you need like any additional stuff or anything like that. Then we'll make sure to go over stuff in additional detail. I'd imagine Wildest Moments of Support review could be a good compilation bit. Oh my gosh, it would be. There's so much to download. I gotta clean out my SSD. You don't want to talk about the editing nightmare that is my downloads folder. I don't even want to talk about it. There's so many videos. There's so many Noble Phantasm videos in my downloads folder. It's taking up so much. I need to clean it out. But not today. There we go. The OG. Asimo's OG. Level 114 with a level 100 First Sunrise. Man, that's a great craft essence for her. 10-10-10 on everything. Better be. 10 and 10 on extra attack boost and low magical energy. That's, yeah, that's correct. Excalibur's at 5. Tell me if I've seen a better Artoria than yours. I don't think I have, actually. I've seen a 120 Artoria before, but it was a bunny Toria. So no, it wasn't this one. I definitely haven't seen an Artoria with all the beast paws set up. Let's see what else we're cooking with here. Vajra for critical strength, yeah. Jaguar Warrior for critical strength. Armament of Victory for Stargather. White Vessel's Command Seal. And yeah, Law of Creation for extra critical damage. 120 is very, very hard to get. 120's ridiculously hard to get. If I've seen Kadros, you'll be surprised. Oh, I wasn't even counting Kadros. Wait, was there never a 120 Saber here? No, there wasn't. We had a level 100 one back when Maltrab played the game, but we've never had a 120 on the stream. Yeah, not Artoria. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I mean, I really think like Musashi's the poster girl of Fate now. Like, at least until we see another, adaptation. Maybe if we ever get a Fate route, that'll change. But I legitimately do believe that, but like between this game and Samurai Remnant, I think Musashi's the poster girl of Fate now. I think more people have a more like deep connection with Musashi and more emotional connection to Musashi than Artoria. Yeah, there were a lot of Muramasa 120s. I've seen significantly more Muramasa 100s and 120s than Artoria. We've got another Artoria here, an Artoria Archer, a servant that spooked me multiple times. 2 GSSRs in a freaking row. But really grew on me. Her kit really grew on me. I honestly think she's great at this point. She's my second favorite Artoria incarnation behind Lancer Artoria Alter at this point. And poster girl of the game is literally Data Lost. It's weird, right? It's weird. He's only the first arrow, sure hit and arts card effectiveness, sure. Pun intended. 10-10-10 on all those skills. 1-1. Excalibur Vebion NP2. Yeah, that's what mine's at. It's crazy. And there's our Saber Destroyer. There's always got to be one. There's always got to be one archer that's a Saber Destroyer. Squirtoria Spooked sounds like first world problems. I was going for Orion! Yep, Stargather Rate. Good Wi-Fi's Fox. Ooh, benefiting from that HP recovery. Nice. And Balance Skill of the Universe for some extra attack damage. I might... Isn't Squirtoria one of the first NP loopers before that was even a thing? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Squirtoria and Rider Mordred. They were both, like, infamous. People were like, oh man, this is a thing I can do with these characters? That's kind of nutty. And now it's just the standard of the game. It's really funny how games change over time. Funny enough, Musashi also destroys sabers now too. Small world. Small world. So the Skahawk next. That's a blast from the past, Craft Essence. Wow. Decapitating Bunny. That is an ancient Craft Essence there. 10-10-10, low magical energy 1, NP2. Ooh, there we go. There we go. See, your account, Asimo, is giving me, like, super good, like, feelings of nostalgia. Because these are, like, the OGs. The OGs that I was seeing when, like, command codes were first coming out and people were getting nutty with these builds and stuff like that. These are the cool OGs I was seeing. So we had a Squirtoria focused on murdering sabers, immediately followed up by a Skahawk that is focused on critical strength and murdering divine enemies. Boom, divine strength killer on the quick card. Buddy Ring, why not? But boom, divine strength killer on the buster card. Divine killer on the buster card. This is almost as nostalgic as seeing, like, a OG Nobunaga with a bunch of Divine Slayer command codes on it. This is almost as nostalgic as that. There's some Origin Bullet representation. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, 10-10-10 on this Artoria Rider. NP2. I love the coat that she gets, right? I love the coat. I love the coat. We've got Neat Doraku for critical strength. We've got BB slots for BB slots. We've got another critical strength thing here on the arts card. Critical strength on this quick card. And critical strength on this quick card? Yeah. One thing you love about FGO over, say, other gachas like Dokkan or the defunct Don Memo is older units don't just become useless, they can still thrive in the modern day. And I think that's a big thing that FGO really has going for it, and something that's really helped push its longevity, is the fact that older units like Skahawk can still thrive in the modern day. The fact that you can take any lower level character and make them a absolute god. When you just have enough grails and have enough resources to sink into them if you really, really like them. I think that's a huge benefit of FGO, and I think more gacha games should take advantage of that. I've seen it to like an extent with Genshin, at least like the last time I was playing, which may have been a couple years ago, but like Jinku was bonkers. Jinku was bonkers in that game. Bennett was insane in that game. Seeing some super, super cool stuff. At least for now with Honkai Star Rail, we're starting to see like a weird little bit of creep with certain characters. But Bronya was like a day one release character, and we're 1 year later, and she's still insane. She's still insane. People can still use her to clear like Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction and stuff like that. So when games do stuff like that, that's something I really want to see. The problem is if you're not doing continual power creep like Dokkan would do, then you end up hitting, you know, a potential wall in profit, and people don't want to like make that money. For example, people say Gil isn't worth rolling when Tesla exists. That's weird to me. That's really, really weird to me. For next servant, you're not sure about Code Glitter. We'll see. We'll take a gander at that. Don't worry. But no, everyone can be useful in their own little niche. Are some characters better than others? Yes, but that's what can be said in any game ever that has ever been made. There are some characters that are better than others. Like, I'm playing Unicorn Overlord right now. Are there maybe some potential characters to put in Elaine's unit that are going to be better than my waifu? Yes. Am I still using Rosalinda in Elaine's unit? Yes, absolutely. And that's not going to change until I do my tactical stupid meta run with, you know, whoever. Maybe I'll go full Kaga and have Elaine marry his cousin because, you know, Fire Emblem 4 genealogy, the Holy War fans represent. But at least for now, no, I'm just going to use... I enjoy being able to use what I want, and you've just got to accept the fact that, you know, maybe what you use isn't optimal, but just be like, that's okay. That's okay, I'm still clearing stuff. I could have played... Like, I just happened to enjoy playing Dragon Age Inquisition in a stupid meta build where I was a dwarven warrior that just could not die. I just happened to enjoy the game like that. But if I wanted to play something else for fun, it's fine. It's fine. I can still beat the game. It's okay. It can be done. Just got Unicorn Overlord yourself. Incredible game. Incredible game. I'm almost done with it. I love it to pieces. I think I love it like more than any Fire Emblem game that's came out in recent years, and that's insane for me to say. But it's really good. It's definitely worth the investment. It can be a little hard to figure out initially with the way you're building your teams and stuff like that, but just do some experimentation. Just putz around. You'll figure it out. Zwanzong Sanzong. Elaine X Virginia and Joel here. The pairing is unironically good. Maybe I'll try that for my next run. That's a little weird. But maybe I'll try it for next run. Just for Kaga. Just for Kaga. Blue Illusion. Ignore invincibility. NP strength increased by 25. 10 here. Alright. No, that's a fine cold glitter placement. That's a really fine cold glitter placement. Yeah. No, you're doing that right. Let's see what else we got here. Stargather Ray on the arts card. Stargather Ray on the arts card. NP gain and Stargather Ray on the arts card. Yeah. Yeah, no, this definitely works for Sanzong. And then on that Buster card, NP strength. No notes. No notes. This is good. This is good. I'm not going to tell you to change a thing about this. Now, ultimately, you'll want to try to Black Grail at some point. But Blue Illusion works. Yeah, no, you've done good on Sanzong. Do not second guess yourself. Good picks. Next up, Kama. Oh god, Chad, this is the first Kama we've seen all stream? When does that happen? When do we start seeing a Kama right at the freaking end? Valentine Witches, ignore invincibility, NP strength, and NP gain. Definitely works on her. I would say try going for a focus on quick. I mean, Traces of Christmas Past is really, really good. I'm gonna keep talking that one up, but it's just really, really good. I'd say go for quick, if at all possible. 10, 10, 10 on all of those. Extra attack boost. NP1 Samsara Kama. And then this should be on the quick card. This should be on the quick card. You want to put things like this on her highest damaging card, and considering Kama's Noble Phantasm has quick card effectiveness boost, yeah, put this on her quick card. Miss Majin's over here too. I would honestly say take Miss Majin and the Spear and move them both over to her quick card. And then put Karama Child on her Buster card and something else on her Buster card as well. You generally want, you want the special attack boost on her most damaging card, and you want this Star Gather rate and extra boost, because if you look at the one bearing Fortune, yeah, it's good on a quick card, but when it comes to Kama's quick card, this just becomes a better the one bearing Fortune, and you've got it on her second most important card. So move this over to her quick card. When it comes to the arts card, take this off. Take this off. We want those stars going to our quick cards, and if you're critting at 100% chance with increased quick card effectiveness that is continually compounding, you're going to get enough of a refund. You're going to get enough of a refund. So take this off of the arts card. I wouldn't even recommend putting this on here. Maybe give her something like a potential cleanse or something like that on the arts card, but her arts card is her least important card. Let's see what we're working with down here. With Scotty, Kama crits more on quick. With Summer Scotty, she crits more on Buster. Summer Scotty is not out yet, though. And codes can be moved freely. So, at least for now, move those over to her quick cards. So, which CC on her arts? I would even recommend just... you would even just go with like a Code Cure or something like that. You put a Code Glitter on there. It's just one of those cards where it's not super duper important. Yeah, it's basically a utility card, like Jin's saying. Coup Alter. Frostfighting Bear. Ignore Invincible and increase Buster effectiveness. Nice, nice, nice. 10, 10, 10 here. Low Magical Energy 1. NP 1. Let's see what we got here. Ooh! Flat damage boosts on both Buster cards. And Wedge of the Heavens on the Buster card. Yep, that's where your damage should be going. Code Glitter on the quick card. Yep. I hit that incorrectly. And on the arts card, remove a poison, curse, or burn effect. Good picks for Coup. As far as the CE goes, yeah, Frostfighting Bear is a decent pick on him, especially because of the Ignore Invincibility. I tend to like more defensive codes on Berserkers, just so they don't get immediately nuked round one and I have to go ahead and start the entire battle over. I'll yet again recommend Volume and Hydrogyrum if you can find it. That is probably Coup Alter's best in slot command code, even right now. But when it comes to maybe move that CC on Kama's arts cards to one of the arts on Swanzong Sanzong, yes, I think that's a great idea. Now, when it comes to Coup, what else can we give him for a defensive option? Because this way we can use his skill later and not have to worry about it. You can give him something like what we got going on down here. I'm trying to look for stuff that grants more than one. Yeah, Necromancy can be funny if it procs. I use Basking Under the Sunlight on my Barghest. I think that's also a great pick for Coup Alter. That's 3 attacks worth of evasion and a damage reduction. You're mainly using it for more of the evasion. You can also, that's probably the best in slot you could give him for an evasion effect. Most everything else is either for like 1 attack or 1 round. But when it comes to invincibility effects on Coup, You can give him... Definitely not Grand New Year, because that's a draw. You can give him Volume and Hydrogyrum, which is the 3 times invincibility CE. It's very, very good. You can give him Bittersweet if you want. That grants invincibility for 2 attacks. That one features Aresh Kagal and Ishtar. You can go ahead and give him... There's one called Royal Traveling Incognito. That's 2 attacks of invincibility. And then we've got coming up in a bit from now, Eternal Roma to be on the lookout. If you don't have any of those, that's 2 hits of invincibility and reducing damage taken by 300. But Volume and Hydrogyrum is the best in slot. It's 3 attacks of invincibility and a 200 to 500 damage boost. Absolute best in slot for Kualter. And finally, Tyra. Club Argonauts. Ignore invincibility and increase in critical strength by 25%. I definitely see where you're going for this. I like critical strength on Tyra no Kagekyo. Your head's in the game. Yeah, there is one with 3 times evade. I did already mention that. That was Basking Under the Sunlight, the one I use on Barghest. It has God, what's her name? That girl from Fiore Yig Millennia from Fate Apocrypha. Evasion for 3 attacks, a damage reduction of 400. The damage reduction is basically useless, but it's the evade. That is really good. See, Kagekyo's 10-10-10. NP1. Would not recommend evade C's on Ku since you want to proc his protection from arrows ASAP, and evade does not stack. Well, yeah, the evade doesn't stack, but you can just, like... let that evade happen, and then use his protection from arrows. So you can just, like, let the evade happen a little bit, and then do that. The recommendation on the evasion CE is mainly if he doesn't have Volume and Hydrogyrum. But Volume and Hydrogyrum, best in slot. Alright, what we got here for Tyra. Critical Strength boost on the Buster card. Mini Ushiwaka, that's cute, that's funny. Mini Nobu on the Arts card. And do we got most of our damage on quick cards? Yep, Critical Strength on the quick card. Critical Strength on this other quick card too. And it's some buff removal. So the buff removal is a great idea for Tyra because you're probably using her as a last stand servant. You're probably using her to murder bosses. So that can be very, very good for her. And if you're using Tyra as a last stand servant, again, that Volume and Hydrogyrum I mentioned can be really, really good. But we can also recommend some Gut Seas as well. Because with Grudge of Vengeance, like, we're going to be missing out on a Guts for a couple of turns. So you can chuck another CE on there if you want. I would overall recommend Invincibility or Evasion over that. But it's just another little bit of insurance you can chuck on there if you want. Or you can also just give her straight quick and critical damage. Quick and critical damage on a Craft Essence would also do wonders for Tyra no Kagekyo. And there is a curse. There is a curse CE that's coming out that a lot of people are recommending for Tyra that I can also recommend. Oh, what's it called? I think it's like a special damage. I think it's under special damage. Where is this thing? Okay, there's a curse code coming out eventually, and I finally got the name for it. It's called the Method to Walk on the Stars. It's something to consider for the future. It increases the damage against enemies with curse status by 20 to 25% and gives a 30 to 50% starting MP gauge. It features Jacques de Molay on it. So I would also recommend keeping an eye out for that if you really want to use Tyra a lot. It's basically the curse equivalent of Honey Lake. Are there any CEs that give more than 1 Guts? That's a great question and something to also consider for Tyra. So let's go ahead and look at that really quick. Guts, 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 guts. They keep guts listed under HP? Weird. Weird FGO wiki. One guts, one guts, one guts, one guts, one guts, one guts. I'm leaning towards no. I don't think so. I think the only one is just necromancy legally, but necromancy is entirely chance-based, so it can proc 0 times. Yeah, it's basically just praying RNGesus is on your side with necromancy, or Heracles is Bond C, that's it. So I hope that was able to help you out. I did my best. I did my best, Osimo. And I hope that was very helpful. Thank you, chat, as always, for your input. That was absolutely great. And great list, honestly. Super good list. Clearly a lot of investment into a select elite group of servants. And they're looking good. And I hope those command code recommendations and craft S recommendations help you push them even further beyond. If you want to be friends with Osimo, 880-418-058. Eric, give us our last one of the evening. And we'll go from there. Why Nero has 3 guts and Tyra has 1. Something wrong. Last one is T. Lee, 685-056-755. T. Lee, are you present? If only her Bonsi was something like Castle in the Snow, that'd be great for Tyra. It'd also be really strong. T. Lee, are you here? If not, we're gonna roll again. T. Lee. T. Lee. I'm leaning towards no. Yeah, her Bonsi has 1 guts, but if it had 3, like Castle in the Snow, wouldn't that be neat? Yeah, Nero has that Imperial privilege to have those 3 guts. Yeah, Nero can just decide, like, she can fly a fighter jet, and it happens. Okay, T. Lee is not here. Eric, roll again. Oh no, T. Lee is here. Alright, T. Lee, it be. T. Lee said it me. We're good. 685. I said 85. 056755. T. Lee! Tlee! Alright. Let's see what we're cooking with here. Wow. Saito. Help on codes for Bryn and Saito? Can do. Level 90 Saito. With Royal Icing. Heck yeah. And dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Alright, so when it comes to Saito, let's do what we usually do and take a gander at his abilities. Arts card effectiveness. He can get himself critical stars, and he can increase his critical strength. So let's go ahead and use that to go ahead and push off from there. Decreasing enemies' arts card resistance. Great. Critical star gather and critical damage on those arts cards. We had Majin-san recommended previously. Majin-san is absolutely awesome. So go ahead and go with Majin-san on one of those arts cards if you can. Where's the Devil May Cry music? I don't want to get demonetized. Yeah, so I can definitely recommend Majin-san. Let me just bring up my list of a bunch of Critical Star Gather command codes. Yep, Code Focus is going to be your freebie option. Immature Illusionary Command Seal is another budget option. Gentle Wish, which is the Ryoma sword and gun command code. Colonel Automaton, Star Absorption and Damage, another great one. I wouldn't necessarily worry about NP gain. You can give him something like Lady Justice too if you want. That's Star Absorption plus critical stars. Basically any sort of Star Gather you can, focus solely on those arts cards. And when it comes to the Buster cards, let's go damage. Let's go damage. Let's make red card hit enemy and enemy gets sad. So you can go with Code Burst for a freebie option. You can go with Lady of the Red Jewels Command Seal for another good critical option. Command Seal of a Cardinal-Minded Retainer. Maybe even something like Mini Kushan. That could also be helpful because it will remove a critical attack chance buff. If you're taking Saito along to fight bosses, that can be really, really helpful. Mini Nobu for a single critical star. Pestle of the Kleshus is critical damage and ignore defense with that Buster card. We just don't want to put Star Gather specifically on those Buster cards because between decreasing arts cards resistance and those focuses on buffing up the arts cards, put Star Gather only on those arts cards. But since Saito's first ability ends up increasing critical damage on his, not critical damage, damage on his Buster cards, we want to benefit from that on those Buster cards. And then when it comes to the quick card, Star Generation. Super easy. Super easy. And yeah, Scenic Beauty is an excellent craft essence for Saito if you have it. That is full arts and Buster bonuses. He really benefits from that. And yeah, instant 20 stars. Great for recommending that as well, Jin. That can let your Saito crit right out of the gate. And maybe he's able to charge up most of his Noble Phantasm. Maybe you have your Castoria grant him an instant Noble Phantasm, and he's critting right out of the gate, so he's just going to do it again next turn. Can be totally fun. Can be a fun way to use Saito. I just finished leveling up my Saito, and I'm focusing on him. I'm very excited to use him. Sigurd. Ooh, level 100. Queen Priestess' Spare Moment. Crit Strength, Buster card crit strength. Yep. That's a good pick for him. 10-10-10, low magical energy. And ooh, Dragon Slayer. Yeah, Dragon Slayer sword. Staff of the Dragon Maiden. Demonic Dragon of Twilight. Dragon of Dragon. And the Nautilus. Nice. Great Dragon Slayer, Sigurd. I don't have him, so I've got all that stuff on my Siegfried, but it just feels good when you're able to pull that off early. Super Orion. Yep, like a bird. There it is. Great pick for him. No notes. We've talked about how potent that CE is on face card focused servants routinely. Super Orion's no exception. And then is this full crit on the Buster cards? It sure is. There's a crit. There's a crit. Is there a crit here? What do you know? Who could have guessed? And you focused your Beast Paws on the card you gave the command code with the highest crit damage. So additional kudos for that. You got Brush of a Mad Painter for extra critical strength, but not trying cards away from the Buster cards. And an attack buff removal plus critical strength when fighting bosses. Great picks for Super Orion. Vritra! I know Vritra's supposed to be unpopular, quote-unquote, but I've seen so many Vritras on stream that either you're all trying to lead me down a different path, or the people are categorically incorrect, and Vritra's actually really popular. Either or. Ocean Flyer, nice, super, super good one for Vritra. 988 on all of those skills. NP1. Let's see what we got working here. Divine Slaying. Yep, Divine Slaying Vritra. Those are on the Buster. Those are on the Buster and Arts cards. We need more Tan Lancers. If you have Vajra, you can change the Karama CC for that. More damage with ignore defense. Excellent advice, Jin. Vritra isn't unpopular. She just came in at an opportune time. Okay. I'm learning. I'm learning. I don't quite know what the necessary sentiment is. Quetzalcoatl. This is someone we don't see a lot anymore. Is this a Honey Lake Quetzalcoatl? Did you build a Honey Lake Quetzalcoatl? Oh my gosh, you did. Wow. Melusine boss was easy with Sigurd. Oh, man. This. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Honey Lake Quetzalcoatl. She is the sun. She burns. Wow. That's great. That's great. Yeah, that totally works. She is a natively honor noble phantasm, and we have more than enough command codes to make that work. Wow. That's awesome. I don't know what else I could see on this particular list that would top this. This is great. Just because, I mean, chat has mentioned repeatedly that it's like, wow, I wish we saw more Quetzalcoatls. I wish we saw more Quetzalcoatls. I wish we saw more Quetzalcoatls. And then we see this really good level 100 Quetzalcoatl that is just full built into Honey Lake. That's awesome. That is awesome. I love this. I love this so, so much. Murasaki, a peak rider design. Thank you for your hard work. Artscar effectiveness, special attack against demonic, and NP charge of 50%. Yes, good. I love when they always design. They're starting to do this a lot more, just designing these craft essences around the characters that actually use them. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. I want my stuff to be thematic. That's one thing I've always liked about Star Rail with their light cones. Like the characters on the light cone is designed to be their best in slot. It's designed to 100% work in their kit. I like seeing that. Especially since light cones are supposed to be memories, it's their own memories spurring them forward and making them fight better. It's thematic. It's great. See, ooh, is this demonic? Yeah, special attack demonic Murasaki. Nice. Next up, we've got First Hassan, level 100, aerial drive, okay? 777, NP1, and crit, yep. Full crits. We've got 2 of these on the other Buster cards, the Red Gem Lady Seal. Major Flowers on the Arts card, on the Quick card. Hero of the Endowed. Alright, now you said you needed help on Bryn. So let's take a peek here at Bryn Berserker. Alright. K-Scope. 999 on all of that. NP3. There's also stuff like Trends of Intergalactic Markets and Dance, which buck that trend. Yeah. That is true. Alright, so let's take a peek here. We've got critical stars every turn. We've got a little bit of a damage cut. And then we've got Arts and Buster card effectiveness all across the board. And we've got a full Buster card effectiveness boost. And the problem here becomes, again, we can't use Stargather. It's unfortunate. We can't use Stargather. Because there's just, her weight's so low. Her weight's so low, we can't use the Stargather. So I would have to say we just have to go Buster crit damage on Bryn's 3 Buster cards. So we'd have to go for things like Blades. We'd have to go for things like Command Seal of a Cardinal-Minded Retainer. We'd have to go for things like Mini Nobu. Like, it's weird. It's weird with Berserkers because their cards just don't have the weight. They just don't have the weight. I mean, we could get some Star Gen on that quick card. We could get the Arts card to have some sort of cleanse, like White Vessel or Code Cure or anything like that. But you kind of start to become lacking in options when it comes to that. My only other recommendation would be using those buster cards as utility. So you could end up, like something like Holy Paper Bag grants critical damage and also removes an attack up buff from an enemy. You could basically do just any sort of buff stripping that you could possibly do in order to try and, tear buffs off of whatever boss you're sending Bryn to fight, and use that as a way to have her provide some extra utility to your team while also sort of providing damage. You'd also just go the ignore invincibility and the ignore defense route and just focus on getting around your enemy's defenses to ensure that Brit is consistently dealing damage every single turn. But definitely don't do any sort of Star Gather on her. I would say pick your favorite of the routes from just pure critical damage, but I'm leaning more towards the other possible routes, something like a debuff inflict on your opponent or a buff removal from your opponent. I would say pick between these two, whichever one strikes your fancy more, just to try to squeeze some extra damage out of Bryn, because she if you ain't generating those stars, she ain't getting those stars. Now, when it comes to Summer Bryn's craft essence, let's see here. What do we got to work with? Let's see. What does her Noble Phantasm do again? Increase Buster card effectiveness. Okay. So we could try leaning into that with things like Devilish Bodhisattva, the one who carries Fortune, and Duke of Flames. Things that increase Noble Phantasm overcharge, so you can squeeze more out of that Buster card effectiveness boost and follow it up with Buster cards for damage. That's definitely a route we could go. You could also just try to go Buster Crit if you want to go that route in the Craft Essence. Focus more on the Buster part rather than the Crit. So what do we got we're working with here? Are we working with K-Scope? Okay, yeah, we're working with K-Scope. You could go with something like... I mean, you could go with Holy Night's Supper for the critical damage and NP damage, but I'm almost tempted to recommend you go with Partake with the King for the Buster card effectiveness and the starting Noble Phantasm gauge, just so you can try and make use of Bryn's overcharge effect sooner. The thing with Bryn Summer is she is very much a burst damage character. She's going to get one turn of really good damage, but then like several turns of okay damage. So it becomes a match of like trying to do whatever you can to pull as much damage out of that one turn where the stars align as possible. So I'd say if you're taking her on boss fights where things might be longer drawn out, try to protect her if possible. Get some boss buff removals or get some debuffs you can inflict on the boss to try to help squeeze out a little bit of extra damage. Or you could just go ahead and go full crit on the Buster cards, give her something like Partake with the King, up the Buster damage, or go all in with crit on the overcharge effects. Beautiful Dreamer, I think that could work. Buster card effectiveness, NP gain, starting NP gauge. Yeah, that can definitely work. And all of its stats are an attack as well. Yeah, that could definitely work. As with the incoming Collapse, yeah. Yeah, I'd say try either of those. Play around with an overcharge craft essence. See how you feel about that. But if you find that you're not squeezing enough out of one turn with a full Buster Brave Chain, Noble Phantasm Buster Brave Chain, then go with something like what you've just recommended, Beautiful Dreamer, as well as the incoming Collapse. Yeah. I think that's the best I can do in terms of an explanation right now. She's just a weird character with how bursty she is. Finally, there's our Calm Avenger. Painting Summer. Ooh, almost maxed out. Nice. 10, 10, 10. 10 and 9 sitting there. NP2 to boot. There's our full NP strength boost. On basically everything. Maybe put an NP strength boost on the Buster card like we were talking about, just so you can follow up with arts cards and benefit from a Noble Phantasm gain on those. But I mean, it's Summer Kama, so realistically also you're just looping with her a lot of the time. So I don't even know if command codes are even necessary on her. Just like I was talking about with Space Ishtar. If you're mainly just using the Noble Phantasm, that maybe those command codes would be better on somebody who more routinely utilizes their face cards. Overall, pretty dang good list. Nice Saito. I just, even though we went deep into trying to figure out stuff for Brynhilda, I think nothing can beat your Quetzalcoatl on this friend list. That was a treat to see. I am floored by the quality of that Quetzalcoatl. So great pick on that front. If you want to be friends with T. Lee, 685-056-755 is what will get you there. And you can just go ahead and hit the friend request button like this, and that will send off your friend request like that. Isn't that fancy and neato burrito? But gang, that's it. That's where we're at. That's sport review. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you all had a good time. I always love doing these every single month. I always love seeing y'all. I never really mind when we run over in situations like this, because it's just a treat to see what everyone's cooking with on this game. I'm considering doing something like this with Star Rail as well, but I don't quite know how I do it. So that's still rolling about in the ether. I gotta try to figure that out. I've also got to do that Acheron video and that Gallagher video. Oh gosh. I expect those coming up in the future. Also, expect, I can't say anything yet, but there's a potential collab thing happening in the future. So be on the lookout for something like that. That will be announced probably on the community tab, probably on the Discord. So be sure to check those channels if you're not members on them. Check down below. We recently went with some upgrades for the Discord server. I think it's going to make things a lot better. I think it's going to cut down on spam bots. So that's all going to be hopefully super duper good. And that will just make a higher quality Discord server. Thank you for everyone who stopped by and talked in the chat. Thank you for everybody who sent super chats. I really do 100% appreciate your support. And is there anything else I have to talk about? I don't think so. If you missed them, check out the Honkai Star Rail FGO interview video. That did over 10K. It's absurd. Thank you all to everyone who watched that. Check out the recent Acheron summon video if you're a fan of Honkai Star Rail. I kind of went a little bit ham on that, but it was fun, and it's a character I really think is cool. Gender bent Reen Schwarzer, I will always be down for. Yeah, that's it. I think we're good. I hope you all have a phenomenal day. It's Kawaii50 signing off now for the evening. I hope you enjoyed your support review, and I will see you all in the next one. And now for the obligatory long bye as I go and eventually cut the stream to try and make sure the audio doesn't get weird. So